Thanks for tuning in. You're listening to another episode of Propaganda with Mick and Jacob.
We're back today. Kind of have a little bit different of an episode for you. We're going to be talking about, this might sound boring, but primarily talking about the state of the Republican Party right now, what that is, what conservatives are, what we should be, what we're not, and everything in between. So,
and we're the mindset of this new generation of conservatives, us.
Yeah.
What we're kind of
where
thinking.
we fall.
Mm-hmm.
So recently, Daily Wire, some of you might know them. They're actually one of the main media companies that I grew up on and listened to and kind of made me conservative when I was younger. Things are a lot different nowadays, but a lot of you may know Daily Wire. They have a newer series called Friendly Fire. Essentially, they invite all their hosts on and they debate each other, different topics. It's hardly a debate, but they argue and joke about and talk about different topics. It's great, whatever. The most recent one, they spend almost the entire Friendly Fire episode talking about the war in Iran. Okay? Who is on the panel today? We have Ben Shapiro, Andrew Klavan, Michael Knowles, and then Matt Walsh would normally be there. He wasn't there. So they had a fill-in guy, someone who's new at the Daily Wire. Ben Dominic is his name.
Who is he?
He used to be with Fox. He's like a media personality type of guy.
Okay.
He's their opinion writer now or something,
Okay.
head opinion, something like that. So he's newer with them. Whatever. So he filled in for Matt Walsh today. Essentially, you have these three guys ganging up on Michael Knowles. And for whatever you want to say about Michael Knowles, I actually like a good amount of his commentary and a lot of his spiritual discussion around politics and around being a Christian. He's a Catholic. So I actually like a fair bit of what he says.
Me too.
I've shared a lot with you.
I like Michael Knowles. Yeah.
I don't know how else to get into this other than they're talking about the war in Iran, and Andrew, Ben, and other Ben, they are all for it. And Michael Knowles he's still largely with Trump, largely supports it, but he has his hesitancies about it. He has his concerns with it. And he says if it was up to him, knowing what he knows now, he wouldn't have gone in.
As
That's what
one
he says.
should be
That's what I would
hesitant
say
with
too.
war.
Right.
I don't think we should ever really want
It's
war.
crazy. You're listening to it, trying to be objective, and you have Ben Shapiro and Andrew Klavan being like, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened. I've never seen pride and courage and bravery like this from any other administration.
Wow.
This is the biggest geopolitical result we'll ever have. And it's like, what are you guys talking about? Why is this such a good thing for you? Why, more importantly, why is it good for us? Why is it good for Americans? Why is it good for our generation? Spoiler alert, it's not. Okay, so they're basically arguing with Michael Knowles about this. It leads into, somehow, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly didn't get directly mentioned in that episode, but Ben Shapiro was ripping on her the other day, so I'm kind of involving her in this as well. It goes into how these people, Megyn, Tucker, and Candace, they are the moral scum of the earth, apparently. And they go on, and they talk about how terrible they are, and they're fakes, and they're frauds, and they're destroying the movement, and they're separating the right, and this, and that. And, well, we should play the clip. At a point in the podcast, Ben Shapiro tells Michael Knowles, he says, Michael, you need to call out Candace Owens for being immoral by attacking Erica Kirk. Which, whatever you want to say, attacking, whatever. I disagree with a lot of stuff Candace says too, but she's asking questions. She's doing more than most people are.
And there's nothing wrong with that either.
She
sorry.
seems to be the only person that truly cares about getting some answers with Charlie Kirk's assassination, which is crazy to me because not that we see everything behind the scenes, but I would think Erica would be leading the front lines on this.
As his wife.
Right. So again, Candace's crazy theories, I don't think they're true. But someone's asking questions. You got to poke around a bush to get an answer, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And
right, no matter what you say, Charlie's assassination was weird. It just was.
Yeah.
And so it's natural then to ask questions. And I think it is totally right and okay that Candace is asking those questions. She might go a little off the deep end. She might go a little crazy, but she's asking the questions.
Even if it wasn't weird, what we know is that Tyler Robinson, his trans boyfriend or whatever, he knew about the shooting before, allegedly. Tyler Robinson was the one who carried it out, allegedly, whatever. But we also had trans activists and LGBTQ movements and people a part of Utah that were talking about this, discussing it in different threads and conversations and messages. And as far as we know, they're not investigated. No one else is behind bars, nothing else. So forget any other conspiracy or inside job or whatever else. Why are we not getting more answers with that? That's whatever. To her credit, It's good you're asking questions. Is she attacking Erica Kirk? I don't know. Like, it's a grieving widow. Like, oh, don't attack her. Sure. Like, whatever. Maybe she shouldn't.
But that doesn't protect her.
To demand, correct. It doesn't protect her from scrutiny. And also to demand everyone else who knows Candace to call her out on it publicly is a different thing.
Yeah.
I was taught, I don't know about you, I was taught that if you have a friend or a loved one or someone else you know, and you have a problem with them, you go and talk to them and you approach them on a personal, intimate scale.
Not on a podcast.
You don't blast them publicly from the other room while behind their backs.
Yeah.
So Michael Knowles is like, oh yeah, whatever. Candace probably shouldn't have said that. And then Ben Shapiro's like, no, say the words. Say the words. That Candace is immoral for saying it.
He's like, say her name.
Yeah.
Say Erica Kirk. It is wrong to attack her. Say Candace Owens is wrong to attack Erica Kirk.
He literally
say her name.
repeat after me. And it's like crazy. We'll play the clip. It's crazy. The point of all that is it kind of shows the two sides, or maybe let's say three sides. Pretend Michael Knowles is in the middle. Pretend a Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, Candace is more, I guess facing the camera, was more this side of the scale, right? Right side? Yeah.
Wait.
Right side. Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Right.
If you are watching this, it'd be your right side.
Right.
What you just did, yeah.
So pretend Megan, Tucker, Candace, Nick are more right side. Then, for some reason, you have who we thought we got rid of. We thought we got rid of the establishment, Rhino, GOP, whatever, neocons. We thought we got rid of them. In reality, it's a lot of the same. It's different people, but a lot of the same ideology. And they're more center left, as it appears. I'm not saying they're left wing or Democrats or libertarians, but people like Ben Shapiro, Andrew Klavan, a lot of others, they kind of organize with and affiliate with being the more moderate version of the right wing. Even though if you listen to them, they're not necessarily more moderate in a lot of things. They just believe things that are entirely different. And
I think the right wing movement has moved so much further right that they haven't moved with it. And if they don't believe it, they shouldn't move just for the likes and just for the attention of it. I do understand that.
They should stay with their base, stay with themselves.
Right.
I get that. The problem is Ben Shapiro, he's all upset with whatever you want to say is true or not, or conspiracy or not. Ben Shapiro's upset because Megan, Tucker, Candace, Nick Fuentes, they are pointing out some of the hypocrisy and problems and suspicious things going on with, let's just say, with the Jews in America. And whether you believe that or not, that is why Ben Shapiro's mad at them. So let's say it's true, let's say it's not, let's say they're wrong or right for it, whatever. That's why he's mad at them.
Ben Shapiro is Jewish, if you didn't know. There are some people that wouldn't know that.
That's true. If you wouldn't know, you'll know. What's crazy to me is that he'll disagree with a million people, right? As he does. Ben Shapiro's he has his takes, he has his ideas, and he's very strong with them, right? So he disagrees with a ton of people. The reason he's calling them out, the reason he's upset at them, the reason he's saying that they're immoral is because they're attacking, let's just say the Jewish narrative, or whatever you want to call it.
And the hypocrisy and problems in the Republican Party too.
True, which is
it's not just,
that's a lot more of Ben Shapiro's base than it is theirs.
Right,
they're not as involved with it.
It's not just the Jewish people. It's not just Israel. They'll point out problems with the Trump administration and the Republican Party.
And Ben Shapiro doesn't like that.
And he doesn't like that.
Even Michael Knowles doesn't like that.
Mm-hmm. We should play the clip for them.
Decides to slander the widow of Charlie Kirk. I think that people have a moral duty to say that this is a bad thing, even if they are quote unquote friends with those people. And I find it an act.
But let's take that further. So obviously one should state one's view and say, Erica's great and the attacks on her are not right.
Well, Michael, I'll just ask you straight up. Is Candace Owens doing something evil by attacking Erica Kirk?
I think that it's wrong to attack Erica Kirk.
No, say the sentence with her name in it.
I'm not going to dance like a puppet for the podcast wars.
You don't have to dance like a puppet, but you are dancing pretty quickly. I mean, there's a lot of tap dancing here.
I don't think there's any tap dancing.
Even if you aren't interested in the podcast wars, the podcast
and I think
wars are
the
interested
people
in
who are
you.
leading the invective against Candace are her biggest.
Okay, I might be biased because I like Michael Knowles a little bit. They spend the entire episode cutting him off.
They do.
The entire episode. Bro doesn't get a word in. Say it, Michael. Say it. Say the words for me.
It's absolutely loved Michael's response. I think that is the perfect answer to something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to dance like a monkey for the podcast wars.
Yeah.
That is beautifully said, and it's such an underhand
jab.
because listen. The Daily Wire is losing money. The Daily Wire is losing support. Ben Shapiro, as a co-founder and as co-owner, he knows that. And the only way that he has stayed relevant recently is to bash people like Tucker, Candace, and Nick
Everyone
Fuentes.
that's on the rise and becoming more popular, that's who he's going after. Which, as far as engagement, it makes sense. But as far as, is it honest? Is it real?
Yep.
I think it is. I think he is honestly attacking them and he's upset with them.
No, I'm not saying
because
it's
of
fake,
their arguments.
But I think part of
that's
it,
why he's
too,
doing it.
is that it gets those views and it gets those clicks. It doesn't matter if they're hate clicks. Doesn't matter if they're hate views or people are watching it because they think Ben Shapiro's stupid. It's still a view and it's still money on social media. And I think that is part of it, too.
Yep. And for Michael Knowles to say, yeah, that's his friend, he's not going to publicly condemn her and go after her on the podcast for this political podcast war.
Yeah.
That's a great point. But also what he points out is it is a war. There is a war going on with, for sure, 2 narratives, if at least 3. But I would say right now it's pretty clear cut. It's far right, new, young, Gen Z, up and coming, and then it's older, establishment, whatever. The funny thing to me is 2015, 2016, when Daily Wire was starting, when Ben Shapiro was becoming the face of Republicans, of political media on the right. Like, he used to be that guy. He was the young, up-and-coming, for the right, more traditional-based guy.
Yeah.
Him and his movement, the Trump movement, the MAGA movement, as it started, as it was meant to be, they kicked out the older establishment. And now it appears, the older establishment didn't go away. It hid for a little bit. It changed. It grew into something else. And it's more the same. And you're right. We don't know how the Iran war is going to end. We're in it for over 2 weeks already, so that's not a great start. But we don't know how it's going to end yet. We have our assumptions, which you've heard before on other episodes. But Ben Shapiro and Andrew Klavan, and they're so pro-war in Iran because they believe, like a lot of boomers, like a lot of elders, they believe Israel's our greatest ally. We got to do whatever we want, wherever we can to defend them and protect them, which if they're our greatest ally, go for it. Problem is, they're not our greatest ally, and this war has nothing to do with us, and it doesn't help us, and it doesn't keep you more safe. It's not for you. It's not whatever, It's insincere. They claim that they're the real patriots. They're the real loyalists. They are the America First movement. That's what they claim, and they're not. They care more about helping and benefiting another country than they do for our own country. They care more about winning a war across the seas to stop the tentacles of terror than they do to protect you and your border and your people. And we talked about this before too, but Trump and his movement, they scammed us. They lied to us. Mass deportations, no new wars, this and that. And it's the opposite of all of that, essentially. And it's like, a lot of the people that are so pro-Trump, they're still defending him till this day. And I like him enough. He's still said some good things. He's done a lot for the movement overall. But this second administration has been a mess. And it's not for us. It was not like it was promised for us. It's ran totally differently. And I think it shows, if you go watch that Friendly Fire episode, it shows the difference. It like clear as day to me shows the generational gap, the spectrum gap on the right side. It makes it so obvious, at least in, I would say, the younger generation's eyes, what your choices are. And there's been a lot of debate recently about the midterms. They're coming up in, this fall, essentially. And some of them elections are already going on. But you have the midterms coming up, and it's, what do we want? Do we want more of the same? Do we want something new? What are our options? What are our alternatives? It seems like, for as long as I've been involved in politics and extremely interested and invested in it, the last 10 years, let's say, and for people who are much older, they should know this as well, it seems like you get more of the same no matter what. And we need something different. We need something alternative. We need something that's actually founded on a belief or value system, or in a religion, or in a serious set of, moral guidelines, which we don't have. And I think that's what our generation, what the people, that's what they want. That's what we're not getting. And you have the 2026 midterms. Then 2 years down the road, we're halfway through already, essentially. We have the next presidential election. What's that going to look like? And I'm not some Republican till the day I die. I think they better align with my beliefs and better represent what we should be, what we want to be. But even then, it doesn't seem like we're getting it. Like, what are the options going to be?
That's the thing, is that our generation, and I think they're starting to get it. I don't know. After this Friendly Fire episode, I don't think they are. But they better start to.
Yeah.
But our generation, Gen Z, I don't think we're loyal to a party. We're not loyal to these people in politics or these people that are in power or above it. We're not loyal to, we don't care. We don't care about the celebrity crap. We don't care about the politics crap. What are you doing for me? And are you going to deliver on what you said you were going to do? And that is what we care about.
We're loyal to our ideals and the message that we're being told. Mm-hmm. And it does. I think you're right. It does matter a lot less if it's left or right or who it's from. It matters what they're saying. And like the left, there's a lot of crazy liberals in our generation. Believe me, we're aware. But what do they mainly believe in? It's not even the person. You know, it's not AOC. It's not Newsom. It's not Biden. It's not Kamala. It's what they support. They support affordable everything, free stuff. You know, we're going to give to you guys. Take from the rich, give to you guys. Free abortion, equality for all. That's what they support. They care less about the candidate than the right wing does. The right wing almost, especially recently, cares about Trump and his ideal and his picture and his who he anoints as the next king. That's what they care about.
The left does that very well, is that they support the idea, the message, the promises behind the person.
But Gen Z is what aligns. Gen Z aligns a lot more with what they believe and what they're told and who the message is, rather than who it's from. So I think that's important for Republicans to remember going into the midterms, for conservatives to remember who we're electing, who's running, what their platform is.
Yeah. Again, it's just I think because we grew up on social media, it's just something about us. We don't fall for the BS. We just, and I cringe saying it because it does sound cringy, but I don't know. We don't fall for it. We don't. Okay, and let's see you do it. You say you're going to deport all these people, do it. You're not.
And
so
whatever you want to say for the left and the right, we're dead set on our beliefs. You know, like the trans liberal crazy lefties. I mean, they're willing to die in the streets of Minneapolis for what they believe in. Yeah, they're stupid and they get themselves killed, but they believe in it. That's why they do it. You know, like whatever you want to say about our generation, good or bad, that is what it seems to be. And I wanted to go back to one more thing with the Friendly Fire episode. The problem I have with what they're saying, Ben Shapiro, Andrew Klavan, and their crowd, they're not arguing anymore. Do you remember, believe it or not, when Ben Shapiro used to say, facts don't care about your feelings? When Ben Shapiro used to have the data and the statistics and the facts and the this and that and all this going back, and he would destroy everyone in debates and arguments. What does he have now? Now he says, you're a terrible member of society. You create this, you know, that's what he says. He has no argument other than I disagree with you and you're immoral for saying that.
I want to touch on the fear mongering and the name calling that's coming from. It really is Ben Shapiro right now doing it for the most part.
They're so fake. I have to say this. Did we not, as the Republicans, as the conservatives, say, oh, look at the lefties, they're calling everyone Nazis. That's so funny. They don't mean that. They don't know what the word means. No, we're not Nazis. We said that for the last 10 years.
You would call it a minority's behavior, and you would be called a racist.
Right. You're a Nazi. You're a terrible piece of... Guess what? Andrew Klavan said, Tucker Carlson is a demon-infested Nazi. That's a quote. He is a demon-infested Nazi.
Oh,
so it's like, we're here, right here. And it's from, oh, you guys are Nazis because you believe this, and this. And now the segment that was right here, they're calling people to the right of them Nazis for disagreeing and believing in something else. And if you want to argue something, and if you want to state your case, then they should be like they were 10 years ago and argue their case in their platform and fight for what they believe in. Not say, I can't believe he said that. He's demon infested. Candace Owens, her message is demonic.
Demon infested?
It's demonic.
Crazy.
And I'm like, Tucker Carlson, you can say what you want about him, disagree, like him, hate him, whatever. Demon infested? Nazi? Tucker Carlson? You think he's a Nazi? Like, do you hear what you're saying? They became the very thing they swore to destroy, right? But like,
it's true.
But it's true. They did.
Yeah.
And sorry, I keep cutting you off, but it gets me going like nothing else. And it's crazy that they can't see it.
And that's on purpose too. That language is on purpose. I don't care. It's on purpose. That isn't just a word they're pulling from their word bank. It's on purpose because then they can say to Michael Knowles, who is a devout Catholic, they did. Michael, shouldn't you be against things that are demonic?
Yeah.
And to Christians like us, shouldn't you be against demonic things because of your religion?
Right.
So they use our religion against us
to manipulate you,
to put fear in you. Well, look at what Tucker and Candace is saying. They're demonic.
Right.
You as a Christian, you as a Catholic should be against that. What? I'm sorry.
I agree.
I'm sorry.
It's crazy. They will sit there and say, well, your religion says this. You have to be against demonic things. And I said Tucker Carlson's demonic. So you have to listen to me. Say the words, Michael. Say the words.
Dance like a little monkey. Be a puppet.
Yeah, what did he say? Oh, he's like, I'm not going to be a puppet. And he's like, you're being a puppet right now. Yeah.
He's like, there's tap dancing going on over there. What?
Right.
What does that mean?
But I mean, they call it out. They call Michael Knowles out in the episode and say, well, he's demonic. You have to be against it. You're Catholic. And it's like, no. Michael Knowles can decide what he believes and what he doesn't believe and what his faith means. Yep. That's what he can decide, what's right and wrong. He's not going to sit there and have you lecture him. And if he does, I think that's fake and weak and everything else. Like, he shouldn't do that, right?
Facts don't care about your feelings, Mr. Shapiro.
Right, where are the facts?
You call him demonic. Prove he's demonic. Prove he's demon infested. Right. You can't be calling people demon infested just because you don't like them.
I would encourage you to go back and look at Ben Shapiro's content and see when's the last time, not a one-off, but when's the last time he consistently gave arguments for what he believes and what other people believe. It's been a long time. From what I noticed, from what I've been hearing recently, it's been a long time. It now has turned into, like the left, name-calling, assumptions, finger-pointing, this and that. That's terrible. That's immoral. I can't believe you said that. Andrew Clavin, you're a demon-infested Nazi. Like, what are we talking about? Who did we become?
And that's why people are so sick of men like Ben Shapiro, because back up your claim like you always have, and don't act like the very thing that you hated 5 years ago. It's annoying and it's irritating, and that's why I think our generation is moving towards people like Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes.
There's a clip of Megyn Kelly a couple weeks ago. She said, or more recently, she said, oh, Ben Shapiro and I were friends for 15 years. I thought good friends, this and that, And it's like, okay, you guys are no longer friends because he disagrees with something you said and he's mad at you. And instead of being adults and talking about it, they have to publicly blast each other.
Right.
What? They have to publicly blast each other in the podcast wars. And then someone like Michael Knowles, who maybe doesn't want to get involved with it as publicly facing, he gets put in a bad position. Like, no, you have to be fighting for this.
Call her evil, or else.
Right.
Come on.
And it's like, I don't know, say what you want about the left, but they don't destroy themselves. I'm not saying we should just be for the left or anything. I totally disagree with that. But they're on their same side. Why don't we take our side? Why don't we stand up for our people and our beliefs?
Well, that's what I was saying in an earlier episode. I'm glad that we have the upper hand right now, the conservatives and the Republican Party, because Trump is president, and I think we have won the culture, but that's given us room to breathe, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing that we're not always on this fight or flight kind of defense. But
it always happens after a big win, though. Because
we have this win and because we have this room to breathe, now we turn towards each other. We turn against each other. And these stupid podcast wars start, and then everyone's just against each other. And it's like, okay, guys, whoa, what are we doing? What does our party stand for anymore?
And what everyone knows, what you know, what I know, every political podcaster, every influencer, every sitting governor, candidate, former, current, everyone in the administration, they all know that when Trump leaves, the right wing gets redefined.
Yeah.
The Republican Party, the right wing, the conservatives, the GOP, whatever you want to call them, it changes. When Trump is gone after this last term, there is a gap. There is a power gap. It's like a great empire is falling. And you felt it in the influence space when Charlie Kirk died. When Charlie Kirk was assassinated, you felt it in the influence space. There's a rise for power. Everyone's grasping at turning point. Everyone's trying to get to the next, whatever. It'll be 10 times worse, 10 times more apparent when Trump's administration is over. That will define us. Who are the Republicans going to be? What are we going to stand for? Forget the Republicans. Screw them. Who are conservatives? What does that mean to you and I?
Because we've grasped on the Republican Party. We've grasped on to Trump and not the message behind him, like we were saying earlier. And that is why it's going to be such a show, such a
part of it too
mess.
is the people that are actually for his message, they realize they're not getting it. So the people that are still for his message, they want that message, whether it's through him or someone else, but they're not getting what they were promised. And we said that earlier.
Yeah.
But you're going to see in the midterms, in the next election, after Trump's gone, there will be two major sides going at it, fighting for their political power and stake and position in, I guess you could call it the next generation, but really the next idea of what the conservative movement is about.
And the problem is that I feel like J.D. Vance's strategy right now is to ride on the coattails of Trump. Being like, I was his VP.
I mean, that's his job. He's the VP. That's what he has to do, right?
But now he's trying to be propped up as the next golden boy for the party, and he's going to be running in 2028. That's who we're standing behind. That's who we're going to elect. And it's kind of like, whoa, wait a minute. I need you to prove to yourself, to me, to us, the Gen Z voters, that you're J.D. Vance. Who is J.D. Vance? I don't care about Trump anymore. He's going to be out of office.
Right.
And quite frankly, he's disappointed a lot of us.
Yeah.
So who are you? And what are you going to do?
What have we seen from you? Yeah.
And that is a problem I see coming as well, is that he's focusing too much on the fact that he is part of the Trump administration. Focus on the fact of what do you believe in and what do your people want.
He's going to have a decision coming up here soon, what side he wants to be on. Does he want to stay with the current power structure, the current side of the GOP, or does he want to move into the more conservative, more traditional, more based, younger, rising power? He's going to have that decision he has to make. So I don't know which side he'll make.
I don't know.
I have some feelings, but 2 years is a long way from now, honestly, and a lot can change. But
that's true, yeah.
Like you said, we want to see who he is. We want to see what he's about. I have a feeling we've already seen it. I mean, we saw it from the time he was appointed as VP. They're going to be pushing him hard. And I think it's our job to say, well, okay, that's fine if he's a great candidate, but is he a great candidate? Why are you pushing him? Yeah. What do we need to know about him?
It's not enough that he's Trump's VP.
No.
It's not.
And if anything, if this administration continues to be how it is or gets worse, it's actually a negative aspect of J.D. Vance is that he was tied to this campaign, tied to this administration, you know? So.
Right. And then one last thing I want to mention too is that Michael Knowles also had a really good point during this friendly fire, is that these podcast wars, when Ben Shapiro gets on his show and when he gets up at Turning Point USA, their Amfest, and he gives a speech and he takes that time and he takes that energy and he takes his breath to bash other conservatives in the space like Tucker Carlson and like Megyn Kelly. When he takes that time, Ben Shapiro will argue that it is his moral duty to do so because Tucker Carlson is doing something evil and wrong. And so Ben's position as a moral person is to call it out. But then Michael Knowles had a really good point, and he was like, well, it's not working, is it? They are only growing more popular.
Yeah.
And by you continuing to whine and complain about it, it's just putting them back into the spotlight. By Ben taking an entire episode, it was like an hour-long episode of his.
I mean, he's done everything. He's done Nick Fuentes, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly.
Completely about Nick Fuentes.
Yep.
The entire thing. And it wasn't even like, hey guys, this new younger conservative is on the rise. His name is Nick Fuentes. He has some ideas that I disagree with. Here's why I disagree with them. Yep. And here's why they're wrong. No, the entire hour is him just
he just plays clips and it's like, I can't believe he would say that. And that's it.
Right. Clips out of context too. He'll play like a little 10-second clip and it's like, play the rest of it.
And it's the same thing he does to Tucker. And it's the same thing he said about Candace and about Megyn. And to be fair, Megyn and Tucker, they attacked him too at Amfest because that's what's going on. That's where the party is. There's a divide. There's a power struggle. But like you said, when's he going to back it up? When's he going to have an argument? What does that mean when you disagree with someone? When someone's a Nazi?
Collect those facts that you've preached about for the past 10 years And tell
he
us
built his career off of
why
it.
Megyn Kelly, why Tucker Carlson, why they are demon infested.
Right. What's
Tell
wrong
me why.
with them? Yeah.
Don't just call them these names. I want to know why exactly you think that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's irritating about it too, is that it is just this complaining. It's not an actual argument or a debate about why their ideas are so dangerous and why we shouldn't listen to them, why they shouldn't even have a mic in the first place.
Mm-hmm. One last thing before we wrap up here. The victim mindset is one of the most iconic left-wing identifiers that they've come up with, right? They're victims, they're oppressed, they're the minorities, they fake this, they're always struggling and sad and this, complaining. That's what we always pointed out. That's what the right wing always pointed out. That's what people like Ben Shapiro would always make fun of them for. They're so victim mentality. Then you have Ben Shapiro and Andrew Klavan being the victims. Oh, I can't believe they're saying this. They're so popular because of it. We have to stand up and fight them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think Andrew Klavan said, if you are anti-Semitic in the right wing, you gain 15 million followers. And I'm like, okay, so if you're anti-Semitic in the right wing, you automatically gain 15 million followers. Okay, so that's what you believe. That's what he says, whatever. But what does that mean? What's your argument?
Yeah.
Again, it's the victim narrative that what's one more thing that they're hypocritical for. One more thing that they've preached against their entire careers. And now they have the chance to be the victim and they turn it into victim blaming and just playing into it and complaining about it. And I mean, we're just repeating ourselves at this point, but face the argument, face the challenge, face it head on. That's what our generation would like to see. That's what the voters would like to see. That's what this next generation that is seeking influence and direction in, I guess, political power from, that's what we want to see, is people making decisions and having arguments and fleshing things out and making sense of things. Not, oh, I can't believe he'd say that. They're a terrible person. Here's why. They don't say the here's why.
Yeah.
They just go into name calling.
Yeah, there's no more here's why, here's my proof, here's my argument. It is just like whining and complaining.
Right. Because they're immoral. That's why. We don't like disagree because it's like, oh, fundamental disagreements, whatever. No, they're an evil person because they disagree with me.
They're demonic.
That's what it's turned into. Yeah.
They're demonic.
Demonic infested, yeah.
And you as a Christian should denounce that.
Right. Say it, Michael. Say the line. I told you to. Yeah. So I think we went way overboard. We talked a lot, but that's all we have, I think.
It's frustration because this next generation, our generation of voters, us, we have like no direction, and it's irritating to see the people that are supposedly our leaders and our thought leaders they don't do their job anymore. They're all about these facts. That's, they don't care about your feelings anymore. But now they're all about the feelings, and now they're all about the name calling and the whining and complaining. It's like, oh my gosh, like lock in a little bit.
And if you think Gen Z's voice isn't important or doesn't need to be heard or isn't on the rise, think about the midterms. The midterms is a lot of Gen Z's second time voting. Some people's third time voting. When you have the 2028 presidential election, that's almost everyone in Gen Z's second time voting.
Yeah.
For a lot of the younger Gen Z, it's their first time. I get that. But like, that's real political impact. Like when you look at the charts in the demographics, in the generations, in where they lean in their trends and their data, Gen Z's on there now.
Oh,
We've been on there.
Vote.
We've been on there for a while, and we will stay on there for a very long time. The boomers are still on there. The silent generation, they still get charts sometimes. Those people are old. They're unks. They are been on there forever. We will be on there forever. So it does matter where Gen Z is and where we'll head as a movement, as a generation, left or right. So I think that's important for people to remember.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Propaganda. This one was a bit more of a rant sesh.
Yeah.
But it's where our heads are at right now, and I think I can speak for a lot of people.
Yeah. It shows the frustration, I think.
Absolutely, it does, yeah. But we always appreciate the listen, and if you can rate the podcast, it helps spread it out. Follow us on all of our socials. We have TikTok at Mick and Jacob. We have Instagram at Mick and Jacob. Our YouTube is at Propaganda MJ. And our X account is at Propaganda MJ. So give us a follow. We post all of our video content on there if you'd like to watch instead of listen. Have a great rest of your week, and we will talk to you Friday.